Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start. I would like to officially welcome you all to the Cities Talk Nature Europe, Nature Places People. Welcome to Krakow. It is a part of an international event that is a part of an intercontinental project we are part of. And to all of you who are watching us right now, since this event is being live streamed, welcome and thank you for joining us virtually. My name is Maria Piątkowska. I work in Kraków Metropolis, and I will have the pleasure to be your host through the entire day. If at any point you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or one of my colleagues who have the word organizer on the badge. And now, without further ado, I would like to hand over the stage for the official opening of the conference to Mr. Daniel Wrzeszczyk, Director of Kraków Metropolitan Area's office. And Daniel, the floor is yours.
We were agreed that we're supposed to sit during the beginning, but I feel that I supposed to stay when I want to welcome you because I want to see all of you, and it's hard to see when I sit. So, dear all, it's my great pleasure to welcome you in Krakow and speak on behalf of Kraków Metropolitan Area, the host of today's conference. I'm warmly welcome visitors from abroad, from Poland and from Krakow. And I also extend a warm welcome to those who are following us online today. Camera is here. Hello. We are happy to be a part of INTERLACE community, where we can openly discuss about not only nature-based solutions, but more broadly about the climate change adaptation, which will be our biggest challenge in the coming years. Be part of the network of cities from Europe and Latin America is a great opportunity to learn about the wide spectrum of good practices and know-how that we can use to design solutions in the Kraków Metropolitan Area. Last year, Kraków Metropolitan Association reached a political agreement and accept for implementation supra-local strategy until 2030. This strategy gives us directions and goals in the environmental area as well. In this aspect, we will certainly develop the experience of the city of Kraków, which you will have the opportunity to learn about during tomorrow's study visits. I hope you will find your visit to Kraków and Niepołomice interesting. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we will have a good weather. I thought if it rains, it's a chance that the plant seeds that are hidden in your badges will bloom. That would be a very interesting sight. At the end, I wish you all an inspirational time, and I encourage you to take the opportunity of the lunch and coffee breaks to exchange ideas, good and bad practices, which lead us to strengthen the INTERLACE community. Thank you. Microphone.
I am Sandra Naumann from the Ecologic Institute in Berlin, and I'm coordinating the INTERLACE project. And many thanks for hosting this event. Many thanks, Daniel, for your words and for this very inspiring nature-based solution on paper, inspiring kids. So I will use that at home and see what flowers come out. And before the event, like we had a chat with Tomasz, and he said, well, it would be nice if you can say a little bit about why INTERLACE. So why is this project running? Why do we need it? So, well, the thing is that what you already said, Daniel, that cities are facing a lot of challenges like climate change. We see a lot of floods. We had a lot of heat effects in the cities. We have to cope a lot with social issues in the cities. For example, here in Poland, with a lot of refugees coming in, but also in other cities. And there are many more, also with air pollution. And those challenges are shared by many cities. And they're part of the solution that we know could be working with healthy ecosystems, meaning to be healthy, they must be restored in the first place, especially in urban areas where a lot of ecosystems are being degraded. We see it with the rivers, but urban ecosystem restoration using nature-based solutions can be part of the way towards a more sustainable future. So this is like at the core of the project. And then we said, well, we don't want to work with the big cities. Actually, we're more interested in the small and medium-sized cities, because most of all, they make the big contribution of the population in the world. And also they have given like this huge proportion, they have another power to contribute to achieving the sustainable development goals, for example. And on the other hand, sometimes they're also overlooked and they not always have the resources, finances and human resources than like the big capitals have. So that was a strategic decision to go with the small and medium-sized cities. And what we already heard, it's key that we know cities know so much that we want to harness that knowledge. And we also want the cities to exchange, not just in Europe, but also with Latin America. And there's so much that cities in both regions can learn from each other. And we want also to support the cities in the project to a good job in restoring the ecosystems and improve the environments. And in this regard, for example, we work together developing governance instruments or assessment frameworks, whatever the cities need to do and implement nature-based solutions. And it's not just working with the cities, because cities are for the people. So it's very important also to work with the citizens and with the kids and with everybody that's being impacted by nature-based solutions, but also benefiting. So there's a huge focus increasing awareness and understanding about the benefits of nature-based solutions. And this is why we have INTERLACE. We already have 2 years gone, and we're looking forward to the next 2 years. Just a glimpse, we have 6 cities. Of course, we have Metropolia Krakowska, we have Chemnitz here, which is also present. We have Granollers close to Barcelona. We have on the other side, Cepi-Ima, which is a corridor around San Jose in Costa Rica. We have Envigado, a city in Colombia, and Puerto Viejo, another city. And you see just some impressions, some things that are being planned in the cities in terms of nature-based solutions. And if you can see, there's a lot of parks already being implemented or being planned on those. You can, of course, maybe you can see already this vision from your region here is in the middle below the river park. But you see also, like, for example, in the middle above, it's a protected area network in Envigado, so in Colombia. And we also have visions, for example, what could be possible with areas where people can experience nature. So the cities, they already implemented nature-based solutions before INTERLACE came. So we have to say that we're not the first to do that. You already did so. Yeah, there are also things we want to try and test in INTERLACE. And one of the things is that we said, oh, let's try like this fancy agile process, learning from the software developers and also being inclusive. And agile always sounds fancy and difficult and complex. And sometimes it is, I have to confess. But it means that we have a user-driven approach. So we're not just sitting as researchers and developing something and then put it to the cities and say, this is now what we have. But the idea is rather to do everything really in a process together, develop things together, and also have time to reflect and take feedback into account so that we can adjust our products and make them better and also more relevant and robust for the cities. So that means like we're developing things in circles over the time. and always critical feedback on them. So in the end, it's really something that's still up to date and useful for the cities, and not just for our 6 cities, but also for the cities beyond the project. And the second one, and you can see this nice picture, which I put for the inclusive approach, means that we wrote in a proposal and we really try, or would like to try to include more also the marginalized groups, which are often not easy to reach out because they have other interests and other challenges to solve. But this is something that we're still trying. And the other thing is also that we knew that working with Latin America and Europe, it's a lot of different perceptions, values and beliefs, even within the region. So just to have a common understanding and to know how important it is to take those values and beliefs into account, we also have a guidance document which we integrate in the development of our product. So it's also like a lot of internal learning. And as said before, it's not easy, but we're always trying and reflecting and then trying to improve the process. But it's definitely worth give it a try to do things sometimes a bit different. And as we know, we have the cities, and we have here one of our city network representatives from Climate Alliance, which is part of a bigger city network group. And it was very important to facilitate this exchange between the cities, explicitly between always a European and a Latin American city, so that they have room to do things together, to exchange on specific topics. And this has changed over the time. And as usually, it is also a flexible approach. So this means that it will not always be static. It's never static. It's always changing depending on the interest and the needs and the processes the cities are interested in. You can just see at the moment that, for example, Metropolia Krakowska is working a lot with Envigado, and they run a joint stakeholder workshop. But you can also see river is that topic that combines all the cities, so the water component, and inspired by the example of Chemnitz and Porto Viejo, now all like 4 cities are joining the drawing and photo competition. And those city pairs are also taking place at a frequent level, but it really allows on this bilateral basis to have a good exchange on knowledge experience, but also to address challenges jointly. And just to say, there are things on here on the screen that the cities did not only as part of Interlace, just to showcase how active the cities are. One of the things is the human bike that happened, I think, in May in Costa Rica, where it's a lot of cyclists in the bike, and there's even a video where you can see the wheels spinning. We had like portable, movable green places in Chemnitz. Envigado just got the Sustainability Award in Cartagena last month. A lot of events, and this is just to showcase that the cities are not just doing what like it's being planned in the Interlace project, they're also doing a lot beyond, and also inspire the other cities on the other hand. So and we always try to keep up in our news thread, so if you're interested, you can of course look that up, but they're super active, all of them. And this is a little bit, of course, to raise interest, because we said we do not only want to produce stuff for the 6 cities. That's, of course, the starting point. But Interlace, of course, we have the aim to have a bigger impact. And we want to produce something that's also useful for other cities in Europe, Latin America, but also beyond. And so a really playful component. Maybe you have also a chance to do it with your kids. My kids are already into Minecraft. And this will be used in real settings in the city. For example, where you have a deprived area or a boring parking lot. And the kids have the opportunity with Minecraft to come up with their own vision of a green, playful place. And this is starting quite soon with schools, with some classes in the schools in each, I guess, in most of the cities. But it's also to include young people. There are many more, but this is part of the engagement program where citizens are being targeted, but not with Minecraft, but also like people in neighborhoods. So it's it's like, will be like a lot of different tools available, a guidance that everybody could use in a city, if you like. The Urban Governance Atlas is a compilation of 250 instruments, where we have a lot of examples from all the cities in Interlace, plus others, where you can learn how cities implemented specific instruments like strategies, financing, to foster nature-based solutions. And Sensimir, with others, Sensimir Foundation will help us to implement a distance learning course. And we also have not just the city pairs and the bilateral exchanges, we also have Cities Talk Nature. And you are very welcome to join those, which are frequently taking place. And a last thing, but not the only thing, is it's also in development, and we will hear later about from Johannes Langemeyer. It's an assessment framework for cities taking on board all the different stages for NBS planning, monitoring, assessment. So stay tuned, and there's a hub, and we try to always include everything in this hub as soon as it's available. And usually it's available in English and Spanish, and we have to see if for some occasion we will also translate it, or we'll also translate to the national languages. So, and then just to conclude, so Governance Atlas will be launched at the European Week of Regions and Cities in October, if I'm not mistaken. At the moment, our cities are in process to co-produce the government instrument, new government instruments, which are tailored to the city needs. Parallel, you have to work on the assessment frameworks, and we will start on Friday talking about first time about the distance learning course. This is the first EU city event here in Krakow, and the next one will take in Chemnitz in May 23. We will start planning in October, but of course you are all welcome to join. And yeah, and if you're interested, the next City Talks Nature takes place on the 28th of September. So that's not good readable, but I think probably Svenja will also, I don't know if you say more about it later, and always have a look at the Interlace Hub. So that's it. Thank you. I hope it wasn't too long.
Good morning. Tomasz Berger, the Sensimir Foundation. I am really pleased to be here. There's a special event, and the Interlace is a special project for us, at least on two levels. Probably some of you know our activity as the Sensimir Foundation. We've been working with cities for years or decades, actually, on sustainability, recently on nature-based solution. And we were always very focused on the local level. Our main goal is to support local communities, municipalities in transformation towards sustainability, to being more green, so to speak. And of course, being a part of Interlace doesn't mean that we are dropping this, we are changing our attitude. It's rather to mount our activities and the whole partnership which we developed with local communities to the kind of international, European or intercontinental, as Maria said, level. So for us, it's very, very special thing, so to speak. But still, I would like to ensure that we are very concentrated on the local level. Yeah, I'm very pleased to be the partners, or if the institution can be friends with the Ecological Institute. We've got also very good history of cooperation, and what we like at the Sensimir Foundation, that the Ecological Institute has they have also very local oriented, so to speak, focus. Think globally, act locally. That's our thing. So Interlace, I hope that we can move our partnership and move our activity. By our partnership, I mean not only Sensimir Foundation, but all cities which are cooperating with us to the kind of international level. So that's special. And what's the special on the second level for the Sensimir Foundation? As I said, we are supporting municipalities, cities. In this project, our partners is Metropolitan. So completely new and very important in Polish conditions, because usually we administrate on the local level, and the Metropolia, they have this kind of ambitious to gather several municipalities and try to think strategically and think jointly on the metropolitan level. So I think that for the NBS development, for ecosystem services, ecosystem protection is very important. We cannot do it, even though I believe in local activity, we need to coordinate our actions. So the big hopes, the special moment, the special project, also the big challenge, I think. So I'm really happy that you decided to join us, and I'm looking forward to building a kind of cooperation and with all partners being presented. And as Sandra showed, there are a lot of good, interesting, sometimes experimental tools. So I think that we will do the good thing, but also fun in the meantime. So two short comments to close, to finish. First, tomorrow we are going to go to Niepołomice to see several nice and challenging, on the other hand, location. And actually, it is a strong candidate to being represented in the Minecraft. So there is a really chance for international partners to see both Niepołomice in reality and then in the future in the Minecraft. It's not decided yet, but that's my favorite candidate, so to speak. So I would encourage you to join us tomorrow. We are going also to see several very interesting projects, initiatives in Kraków, who is a kind of model for the whole metropolis, I believe, or at least inspiration. So there's the first comment, come together with us tomorrow for the field trips. And the second, as the Sędzium Foundation, we are producing a lot of guides, a lot of publications which are not scientific, even though most of us, we are scientists, but they are mainly for the municipalities, for officials. And some of them are available on the desk. They were, at least in the morning. All of them are available on our websites. You can download PDFs, both in Polish and in English. So please help yourself. Again, welcome. It's very good to be here, and I'm looking forward to this day. Thanks a lot. I'm giving the microphone to Maria.
Thank you very much, Tomasz, Daniel, and Sandra. Thank you for opening the conference. You may join the rest of the participants now. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the next part of the plenary session, some practical information. You see the agenda of today's meeting. We are a little bit behind, but I think we'll catch up. So the first plenary session, which will last until 1 p.m. with one short coffee break at 11:25, hopefully. After the plenary session, we will enjoy a lunch break and have some extra time for networking. Then we will split into 4 groups. We'll talk about them more later. 4 workshop sessions, and finally, we will have a summary at the plenary room again in the afternoon. All the meals, all the snacks at today's event are either vegan or vegetarian. So we are trying to reduce the carbon footprint of this event. That is also why we have not prepared any conference gifts or accessories. You only have the badges. And yes, it is true, there are seats, plant seeds in your badges. So after the conference, you can plant them wherever you want and watch it grow. Of course, if you wish, we encourage you to share your thoughts on this event using different social media. When you share your impressions, don't forget to use the hashtags, tag us, the INTERLACE NBS, so we spread the word about the conference and about the INTERLACE project.